Hey everybody, Dr. Steven here, and I'm in my backyard. The weather's kind of chilly. It's, I think, about 42 degrees right now, but the snow has begun to melt, is almost completely melted. And we're hoping for better weather. Next week, it's supposed to actually hit the 60s, which will be wonderful. We're kind of getting tired of all of this late spring snow that we've been having. So we're locked up, as it were, here at home, like all of you are as well. My wife is an elementary school teacher, and she's got 24 second graders that she's doing e-learning. And I'm working in my study on my classes that I'm teaching online, and also some of my responsibilities with our mission organization. And so today we came up just to get a cup of tea, actually, and we noticed in our backyard, in my aspen trees that aren't even leafed out yet, there was a huge great horned owl just sitting there. And that's pretty rare to see them during the day. In fact, it's kind of rare to see them around here much at all. And at the same time, there was on the other side of the tree a absolutely frightened squirrel that was stuck there and afraid. He was kind of scared in place and didn't know what to do because the owl was on the other side, and certainly he would be prey to the owl. And so we watched for almost a half hour, and I grabbed my camera and took some pictures because this little scared squirrel eventually got himself on top of or over the owl and very precariously ends up jumping over to the pine tree that's right next to him. And it was just kind of a fun and entertaining little thing that we probably wouldn't have been home to sit and look at had it not been for the lockdown. So it was kind of fun. So this week, we're nearing the end of our class. It's week 6, hard to believe already. And I did a short little instructional video. It's the only instructional video that I've done for this class where I'm doing some teaching. And it's from my desk, just in my study. You'll see the link. And I'm talking about the idea of Christ and culture based on a book from the 1950s called Christ and Culture by Richard Niebuhr. And I just feel he makes some valid and powerful observations about how we as Christians, as followers of Christ, as people who believe the scriptures, how we are to respond to culture. And it's not one size fits all, as you'll see in the video. I think it'll be helpful. So watch the video, and then at the same time, one of the discussion questions will be regarding that video. Second to that, there's another discussion question, which is based on the readings that you're doing through Palmer. And essentially, all of the homework and assignments need to be turned in and done by the end of the semester, which is, I believe, May 3rd or May 4th, or something like that. And so what you essentially owe me, if I can use those terms, are 3 of the 3 to 4 page reflection papers on book 1, 2, and 3 in C.S. Lewis. And many of you have been turning those in. I've been reading them and scoring them. You've been doing a great job. And then I also need 4 total 1-page little journal entries about your readings from the first week, the 3rd week, 5th week, and then the final week, the 7th week. And I just want you just to 1 page, just talk about what you've read and what you've learned already. Many of you have turned yours in, and they've been just great. And there was supposed to be a final project, and it was going to be a collaborative team effort with videos and PowerPoints and all those kinds of things. But this whole pandemic and lockdown and what have you has really disrupted a lot of people's lives in a variety of ways. And a number of you have actually communicated with me over the past weeks that you've got a number of challenges. Some of you are educating your kids at home now and even sharing devices between your children and spouses and those kinds of things. Others of you have jobs where you've had to work extra shifts because you're in one of the essential workers. And consequently, it just seems like it would be very difficult for 100% of our class to be able to work in teams under the kinds of schedules and stresses and challenges that we're facing right now. This project was never going to be a huge part of a grade. It was more just kind of to have some fun. But I think the prudent thing would be just to eliminate that. Don't worry about it. It's not an assignment anymore. The grades will be on participation in the discussion threads, which you'll get full credit for that, and the journal 1-page entries and the 3 to 4 page reflections on Lewis's first 3 books, and everybody's going to do great in the class. You're all going to get a fine grade, so don't worry about that. I'll see you guys this week in the discussion thread.